Welcome back. It's the Saturday morning show, 92.3 Nigeria. Info 13 minutes past 9. At this time every Saturday morning, we have Stand Out with Mr. Patrick. Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
Hi, Sammy. You look like a nigger, right? What do they call them?
A ninja.
A ninja.
Yes, I'm all covered up.
Have you been recruited?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to be recruited into. But this is something new that I'm trying, and I like how it covers me completely.
It comes very well.
Thank you very much.
Especially the cold weather.
It's a gift, though. So good looking out to who gave it. How you doing?
I'm very well.
How's the week been? I remember, having a conversation with you, I think on Wednesday or Thursday, you were talking about how busy.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love inventing new things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's been a meeting, virtual meeting. I had another meeting on the 20th. We talked about relationship. It was amazing.
That's beautiful. Now, this morning, we're talking about life in slavery.
Yes.
Why is that an important concept to talk about?
It's important that people live an automated life. People live a life that is not governed by themselves, that they are not conscious about it. Okay, so they live an automated life, and it's very unproductive life, and that unconscious life becomes slavery to certain things.
All right, so tell us about it.
So, Luke chapter 12 verse 15, and he went on to say to them all, watch out and guard yourself from kinds of greed. I'm going to be talking more on greed as well this morning, because a person's true life is not made up of things he owns, no matter how rich he may be. The guy that wrote to Romans in 6:16 says, surely you know that when you surrender yourself as slaves to obey someone, you are in fact the slaves of that master. You obey either of sin, which result to death, or obedience, which result to being put right with God. As the heart, so the life. The within is ceaselessly becoming the without. Nothing remains unrevealed. That which is hidden is but for a time. Life is ever unfolding from within, revealing itself in the light. As a fountain from the hidden spring, so flows forth a man's life from the secret recesses of his heart. Man is the keeper of his heart and watcher of his mind. That's why they say that the mind is the master. Keep your heart keep it, because it's out of their heart are the issues of life. So a lot of us live automated life. They don't question. You have one belief that you have run for 10 years and you think that's where life stopped. You could just be a prisoner to that thought, because it may not actually be meeting your reality. There are people who think that they must owe people, and they are slave to borrowing. And they ask themselves, there's nothing wrong with owing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with owing. Living in that mentality put you in prison or borrowing money. Because, of course, the Bible say that, owe no man nothing but love. Right? Of course, we're in business, so you can owe. But the mental construct that keep you in that perpetual flow, there's a problem with it. Even though it doesn't meet your reality now. But look at one of the things that make people to be slave. When you think or you set out to look for money, when you set money, there are people who are just living for money. They wake up, their goal is to make money. You heard somebody saying, everybody's going to Port Harcourt, for instance. Everybody's going to Lagos to make money. It's like the goal of life is to make money. Money answered all things, right? We understand. But look at, money is a tool of accomplishment. So money is a tool. Money may not necessarily be the goal, but it's a tool of accomplishment. A means to an end. Our world is riddled with noise and overtaking the helplessness, rat race going nowhere. The only chance to rediscover happiness is to cultivate meaning, your privileges, your pursuit, your achievement, your endowment, your experiences, and your expectations. So if I have an expectation, for instance, that's why I keep saying you don't want something. And this want concept is a problem, looking as if it's externally outside us. Meanwhile, everything that we need is internal. And once you start recognizing that internal factor, then you cannot be a slave to sex. You cannot be a slave to money. You can't be a slave to yourself. And one of the things that make us become slave to money is insecurity.
Say again?
Insecurity.
Why is that?
Why do you think somebody can own 50 accounts and steal over $700 million? What is the root of that? It's insecurity. You're trying to maybe secure your life. Life is ridden by faith, not by accumulation. Insecurity is one of the greatest things that slave us to money. Number two, greed. It doesn't make sense. You survived. Now you're a governor. Now you're a chairman. Have you forgotten the route, the processes that brought you to that place? You believed in yourself. You believed in your dream. Now you want to so accumulate wealth that even your grandchildren will not be able to exhaust it. And greed is one thing subconsciously we do not know that all of us have it in one way. But when you begin to convert your greed into exploitation of the good for others, I mean, where you exploit to increase the better life of your family, of yourself, that's element of greed that brings you to curiosity to get better than yourself. The other one is fear. Fear of the future. Meanwhile, there's no future really, Sammy. Every future that is not planted now is destroyed already. So what are you doing today will determine whether you're going to have a future or not. And the future that is given, you left it with commonality will bring you commonality. If it is intentional, you find out that you're guaranteed. I can tell you now, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. Okay, what am I doing? Because I'm very intentional. Most times it's difficult to come in here. Most times I want to quit. But hey, I think I have a future. I have a voice in this city to be able to be a voice of encouragement, of to inspire, to remind us. What is the other one? Is hunger. Hunger can be a source of slavery. Hunger can make people submit to people they have no reason to submit to. Hunger can make you lose your self-worth, your completely self. Hunger can make you become slave. It could be hunger for alcohol. It could be hunger for sex. It could be hunger for status. It could be hunger for whatever it is. And if it's not washed, if you become slave to it. And so, how do you manage this? Is to have what they call the abundant mindset. When I step into Port Harcourt, no matter how hungry I am, people are eating. That's abundant mindset. If they can eat, that means I can eat. It's value optimization. You are a person of worth, no matter how insignificant that you think, no matter the poverty and the lack around you. Let me tell you, you have value. If you look inward strongly. Do you know the woman that went to tell a prophet and said, they want to take my son? The prophet asked, what do you have inside? When Jesus wanted to multiply the seed, he didn't ask them, go get some. He didn't call the father from over there. What do you guys have? So there's a value. You have value. Every one of us have value, no matter how crippled you are. And the other thing is what I call the system and processes. people of our age do not develop system and processes. And if you develop system and processes, trust me, you become more intentional in your life, because the system and the processes will measure to where you're going. You wanted to say something, Sir.
I have a lot of things to say.
So should you want to say, or should we continue?
Well, let me ask this one first.
Yes.
Because there are many more questions. Now, you talked about insecurity, greed, fear, and hunger.
Yeah.
Of all these points, I think that we have the power to choose for many of them. Greed, for a major part, is a choice. Insecurity, well, I think it's a reaction. Fear also can be a reaction. However, in my opinion, hunger, whatever kind, is completely natural. People are always going to be hungry for something. Now, they cannot control how the hunger comes or it starts. However, they can control how they intend to get fed.
No, but it's what they call the discipline of desire. In discipline of desire, let's say that I have a want to drive a Mercedes-Benz, right? And I don't have the capacity. I also have that hunger, but I control that I don't have the capacity. I remind myself I don't have the capacity yet.
Yeah, but hunger doesn't go. It's like being hungry for food, for example.
Depending on how you apply the hunger, because every hunger that's subjected to slavery have taken you.
Let's use food, which is the most basic hunger we know.
Yes.
When you wake in the morning, at some point, you're going to want to eat food.
Yes.
Now, you might say, I want to have pizza or shawarma.
Yes.
Alternatively, you could say, I need a simple meal.
Okay.
But you are hungry.
Yeah, you're hungry.
You have to get fed.
But then, there's somebody who will bring that food. Automatically, that hunger would eventually evaporate because you don't like that person or you don't like that food. So it means that you are in control. So what we're talking about, where hunger makes you lose yourself and your senses and become slave.
Okay, but you have to get fed no matter what happens.
Oh yes, you have a choice then. But here, where you do not have a choice, you know where people say, well, I don't have a choice, that's what I have to do it. You're a slave. Because you have a choice.
So choice is a difference.
Choice is the difference. And we have independent choice at any point in time on how we relate with that hunger.
Now carry on. At the end, we'll
so number 2, self-focused. What I call the pride of life. We are so concerned about what people say about us or by the opinion of people that we have to do everything to be relevant. That's self-focus. The other one is show off. Look at look at this guy that has been in the news for a while. It is show off. Selfie, you show off. I'm not saying there's anything about selfie, but what is the motive of that? Show off. You can become a slave to show off. That's what I call self-important. Self-important can slave you. You become so conscious of yourself that you can't even step out without the makeup. You must be in a certain form to be seen in certain form. You know, self-focus can be where you're borrowing to meet a want, not a need. People borrow to meet a want, not a need. And you see there's a life of borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. So the size of our universe shrink considerable when we place ourselves at the center, not people-centered. When we are focused on ourselves, you realize that you live a dissatisfied life. I like the third one, the more. People think that is an accumulation that they are better. Less is powerful, more is slavery. I want to say that less is powerful, more is slavery. Experience makes people happier than possession. It is a feeling of possession that either makes you a slave or a master. It is not stuff that makes you happy. It is the experience of stuff that makes you happy. So, when people do not manage their urges and their tendencies, they are likely going to be a slave. When people do not has to deal with the belong mentality. You know what belong mentality? You're trying to conform to a certain standard, and that standard is kicking you. You know, you have a meeting, okay? You belong to a particular set. Everybody wears a particular hairstyle. It has to be a certain hairstyle. And now, because you have to conform to that place, you have to find a way to wear the style so that they will not commonize me. But yet, when you go back home, you are a slave to certain things. Meanwhile, you have shown off. That's what we call belong mentality. You have to drive a certain car to belong. You have to attend to a certain, your children have to attend to a certain school to show that you belong to their class. This one is, I call the downplay the impress mentality. You have to impress all your life. That's slavery. But yeah, when we focus on the essential, what is essential? Sammy, we need to remind ourselves food. What is essential? Water. What is essential? Shelter. What is essential? Clothing to cover your. What is essential? Movement and communication. These are the basic things. And when you focus on this need basic thing, yeah, the quality may increase because of your effort and hard work and your reward of your hard work and your creativity, right? But yet, you are not slavery because you are in a place to choose how you meet this obligation. I said something that when you simplify your life and flow in the direction of the most basic need, you organically grow and naturally grow to the next level. And so I want to grow naturally. I want to expand naturally. I want to expand intentionally. So money shouldn't be my goal, but value creation, optimization, and system processes should be my goal. And once I put those things in place and create value, money will definitely going to come. Because you're not set out to make money. You're set out to create money in order to attract money. Sam, you have something to say.
A lot of things. Mm-hmm. Now, beyond the essentials, which are needs, you stated earlier, food, water, shelter, clothing, communication, movement, and air.
Yeah.
Other things you can be a slave to. Can you be a slave to these essentials as well?
Oh, yes, you can. You know, there are people who, they have to order food in a certain restaurant. If it's not in that certain restaurant, even when the economy is down there, they are already slave. That test board is already test. That's why I keep saying don't be attached to anything, but open to all. Oh, the economy is going down, right? Yeah, there's nothing wrong in taking a cab. Now it has to be a certain class of, and you're owing the driver who picks you up. He said, don't worry, it's going to improve. And your monthly, bill is increasing. And 6 months you have not paid the driver. And the guy is still hoping, say, it's my servant. And you're a slave to that lifestyle.
Must everyone be a slave to something?
Oh, yes.
Must there be something you're subject to?
Oh, yes. It's not that slavery is bad, but it's intentionally be a slavery. Because you can be a slave to your work, because you enjoy it. So you put a distinction, but it doesn't control you, but you willingly choose. Paul said, I'm a slave to Christ.
So be intentional about the master.
You are the master and the architect. Don't shift the blame.
Money is a tool of accomplishment, not the goal, you said.
Not the goal.
And the tool is supposed to help you get some work done.
Yes.
So if money is the tool, what is the goal?
Yeah, so now the goal is to find life. And in finding your life, you're bringing value into the system. And that system rewards you back. Maybe in terms of money or in terms of reputation. Let's look at Wale Soyinka, right? Okay, he wasn't seeking for money. He was seeking to express himself in writing.
That's right.
And now he found himself in writing. And now money is coming to his life. He's earning money.
Okay. What's happening with Standout?
Standout, we're rolling it this coming next Saturday. It's amazing. We talked about what they call patterns. We'll talk about connection. We're going to deal with about establishment. You can't take responsibility. You can't have rulership like we have rulership this year without being established. It's the establishment that gives you control.
That's happening next week?
That's next week, yes.
Is there anything happening today?
Oh, yes. We're hanging out by 8 o'clock. Exactly 8 o'clock. We want to discuss about the pandemic, how we have survived, and be able to encourage one another. By exactly 8 o'clock, it's happening.
And what platform? How do people connect?
So I Stand Out. If you connect us, So I Stand Out in all our platforms, you can hook up.
All right. How can people reach you?
08033411451. 08033411451.
Ms. Patrick, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sammy.
Have yourself an awesome day.
You too.
Coming up next, I'll be speaking with a couple